Hey, I'm Chris Clark, one of the co-founders of AcreFi. And if you stick with me through this video, I will explain why AcreFi exists and how it can help you. So the story begins in 2014. My business partner and I decided to start buying and selling vacant land. We started with Desert Squares and we kind of slowly worked our way up from there. Fast forward to 2019, we're working in the business full time. We've got a ton of properties and our biggest bottleneck is on selling this inventory. We're able to buy it really well. We're not able to sell it as well. So we're stockpiling inventory. And by this time, I had joined a group of entrepreneurs, and we would come to these meetings on a regular basis and talk about our problems and our bottlenecks. And everybody would get a chance to share what they were experiencing in their business and how to get to the next level. And so I was coming in and saying, I know we're getting a lot of leads. I don't feel like we have a problem there. We've got a couple good salespeople that are selling the properties, but for some reason, we're just bottleneck. We're not getting as many sales as I think we should be, especially with the amount of inventory that we had. So, uh, luckily, in this group, there was a gal, and she owned a design firm. She had a whole team of people, and what they specialized in was building websites for VC-backed startups out of Silicon Valley. So that was kind of her niche, and they would charge $50,000 to $100,000 just to design a website, which blew my mind. Up until this point, the first website we did in 2014, I built on Squarespace, and that was basically me tinkering around, not knowing what I'm doing, and building a terrible website, and then spending too much time on it, not focusing on land investing. Next thing, I hire a buddy a year later. He builds the next site, $3,500, which was like kind of a deal, I thought. And it actually ended up being okay. It was kind of, I was semi proud of it, but it didn't have a lot of functionality. And then third iteration got talked into going with another small design agency that built the site. And they only charged, I think, 2,000 or 2,500 bucks. And then they added a little bit of functionality, but it just wasn't much better than the site that my buddy built. So then we end up hiring someone in-house who was the husband of one of our team members, and they built the fourth website for us, and they were in-house. So we were paying them a monthly retainer, and they were maintaining it, and they were maintaining our inventory and all sorts of other stuff. So it made sense at that point. But none of these sites were really doing their job. So fast forward to this, conversation I'm having with Danielle, that's her name, and she's saying, "Look, you don't have a problem with leads. You don't have a problem with sales. You've got these two, plenty of leads are coming in, and the salespeople are fine. But you've got a problem right there with your website. It's not converting. Your website should be your best salesperson." And as soon as she said that, I got it. I was like, "You're right, but tell me more." So she said, your website is got to build trust. It has to establish credibility right off the bat with people, because they're going to know about you way before you ever know about them. They're going to go from one of the land marketplaces, or maybe you're running some paid traffic off Google or Meta, and they're landing on your website. You can't have them bounce. They need to, one, feel welcomed, two, understand where they're supposed to go next. And it has to be logical, and it has to be trustworthy. So we've got to fix this website issue that you're having. And so we had multiple conversations, and eventually we took the plunge. We hired her firm to design our website, and it was a big leap for us, like a big leap. But it was something that we started to have faith in after she went in and she looked at our site. We had a high bounce rate. We didn't have people staying on the site very long. They weren't going through the customer journey to get to the properties and actually look at a property. And even the property listing page, it had a lot of information. It just wasn't well laid out. And so we took the plunge. Her firm did a bunch of research on the overall land space, and they could see all the problems. They could see, what websites looked like in the land space. And the land space is a lot of do-it-yourselfers. We're trying to buy and sell land. We're not trying to build websites. So we put something up and hope and pray, and that's kind of as good as it gets. But so she kind of figured out, okay, this is what's going on in the land space, but everybody that's building websites that's a land investor, they're not their own customer. And so most folks that are going to buy a piece of land, most likely they're going to buy one piece of land in their life, unless they're an investor and they want to land bank and buy a few more pieces. But for the most part, they're going to just buy one piece of land and that's it. So you got to make it logical for them, and you need to make it familiar. Everybody in the U.S. for the most part, when they're shopping for real estate, they're going on to Zillow or maybe Redfin. So they understand. Search for something, see a property map, click around, zoom in, zoom out, get a little idea of the property, click into it, get a page of the property, and then do your research on the property and go from there. So she wanted to build something that would not create a bunch of friction and also feel somewhat familiar. And that made a lot of sense. Then on the actual property page, it's got to be logical as far as the information is laid out. So land it's a niche that is not really focused on by technology companies that much. And so we're always used to using something that is built for house flippers or something that is built for real estate agents. And there was never really a great website for land. So fast forward though to, later in the year, took a few months to really get the design complete. And then we built it and immediately started to see an uptick in sales. Our sales really got to be, number one, a lot higher, but our salespeople said, we're not getting as many questions. We're not having to do as much follow-up. People are actually telling us that they like our website and they appreciate the fact that the information is well laid out and in an organized manner. And so, the website was a huge deal for us. It really helped us level up and get to, break through that glass ceiling of dispositions that we were experiencing. So it was a huge change for us, and a welcome change, and really for our entire team. Fast forward to 2025, last year, we decided to release it as a SaaS and make the platform available to everybody. We're in the process of building all of the functionality that we built for our own site, but building it into a platform that is really purpose built for land investors. And we've been working hard to make that happen. Super proud of the team so far. We've got a lot of the functionality built in, and this website on AcreFi is lightning fast, it's conversion friendly, and it has a whole bunch of functionality in it that if you want to use it, you can, and if you don't want to, it's there for you optionally. So we do have a checkout process if you are a land seller that wants to process a checkout online. If you're doing bigger deals and that doesn't make sense, you can just put a contact form there. But if you wanted to go through the checkout process or have your customers go through a checkout process, there is the ability to process a down payment right on the site, and also sign a contract right in your own site, a contract that is personalized for your business. So we're proud to release it, and really excited to have you. If you're interested to learn more, would love to have a chat with you. Book a call with me and we can talk more. Thanks so much.